Guys, Richard here doing my latest review. This one is for the, as it stands, final Demon Headmaster book, Book 8, Mortal Danger. So, like I said in other videos, I wanted to save the original 6 for last. So I read Book 7, which was in the 2010s, and then this one just now. So Book 6 is the one, Book 7 is the one that was used for Series 1, New Series 1, or Series 4 of the show about 6, 7, 8 years ago. And it turns out the show, it got cancelled, COVID problem, but this would have been Series 2. I'm actually going to watch, Series 2 or Series 5, but yeah, I'm going to watch the new Series 1 quite soon. And yeah, shame this hasn't been adapted, but these things happen. I'm not sure if there was that much demand for more Demon Headmaster after the first new series. I mean, I liked it, felt quite modern, like the book and drones, etc., all of that. But maybe it just never really caught on the way the original show did. Maybe it's the same with the books. Maybe that's why there's not been a sequel to this. I mean, this is quite samey, so excuse me, watching my ferret. Make sure he doesn't try and tunnel away, as he is unfortunately known to do. So, on to it then. So, Demon Headmaster Mortal Danger. So, this is like a follow-up about, I think it's about a year after the previous one, with the characters Lizzie, Ethan, etc. They beat the Demon Headmaster, and he's basically back. So, I don't want to go into too much detail, because it's a good book to read, but basically, he lures the characters to this island where he can effectively murder them. Now, that sounds extremely twisted, and you'd be right, but the show in the 90s didn't adapt all the Demon Headmaster books. I believe it was the third one. So you had Demon Headmaster, Prime Minister's Brain. Yeah, Strikes Again was the genetic engineering one. Takes Over was the Hyperbrain one. Facing Demon Headmaster was never done. I don't remember too much about that, to be honest. But what I do remember a lot of was the Revenge of Demon Headmaster. Now that actually involves him effectively trying to have them all delivered to different parts of the world, and it's quite grim how even the Prime Minister's Brain, he even makes sure that Dinah Glass is not allowed to be part of the thing he's doing for his schemes, but his mistake is not realizing she's fully adopted and is Dinah Hunter. So yeah, he's not above petty revenge against the kids that fooled him before. So if anyone's read this and thought, well, that's a huge shock if you've not read the first 6, be warned, he does it before. Maybe that's why they didn't adapt Book 3 when he does that thing of the original show. So yeah, it's not a bad book. I just feel like about the best he can do. Luring them there to this island where he actually does try, spoiler for the end, hypnotise 2 of them to actually turn and walk off a cliff. He basically falls off that cliff himself when Lizzie tackles him. Seems to disappear. They go looking for him because, Demon Master's bad, but they don't want him dead or anything. You don't want him or just hurt, lying injured in a ditch somewhere. And he escapes by helicopter, and his plan fails. He basically doing his usual scheming of getting rid of the headmasters in other schools, and it's still not even 100% clear why it is. Maybe because we don't really get into his head at all when he doesn't even appear until like 30 pages at the end, minus glimpses of him. So yeah, seemingly his plan was just to erase all the heads in different schools and kind of become, I mean, it's like UK's equivalent of the superintendent, just like running all the various schools, etc. So yeah, it's not a bad story, but it's just so much mystery about what he is actually up to. What does he want? Even as this, at the end, Lizzie, she couldn't help wondering where the headmaster had gone. Yeah, but we'll never find out. I don't know if Gillian Cross, the author, has been asked about this or not. Maybe this is it for a while. To me, I never thought we even needed any more beyond the first 6, but they did a good job with showing how different technology is now compared to 90s, because being born in 85, I remember how limited by today's standards the tech was in the 90s. Hyperbrain was their way of spying on you, but people had to walk around with the badges on their clothes. Now you've got drones, you've got the website with phones have got webcams, phones have got trackers. It's a great way to bring the Demon Headmaster back, all the modern stuff that didn't exist in the 90s. And yeah, this book kind of suffers because it doesn't really have that feel. It's kind of like the first 2 Harry Potter books. Book 1 is this magical new world that's really cool, and book 2, despite a bit more fear with the final boss, it's kind of more of the same. It doesn't stand out enough because it's telling a very similar story to the first one, and it's similar to this. Book 7 really stands out because it's showing 2010s technology, and it's such a big difference compared to 90s technology. the same with 90s versus 80s and older than that. But yeah, this doesn't really do too much new. There's some things like Blake has indeed reformed, like he said he would. But yeah, overall, it's just a decent story, but I kind of think, could we get a much better sequel? You know, book 9, did they really need this one? Just because we don't really get much of what he's doing at all. We still don't really know his true motives for what's going on in this one. At least it's quite obvious when he's arranging a meeting with the Prime Minister what he will do. Yeah, so that's it. So that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed the review. I read it earlier on. It's quite a short book, 185 pages, so a bit longer than the others. In fact, it might be the longest Demon Headmaster book. It probably is. And on to Warhammer. So I'm still doing the collections, which are like when I'm leaving a book at work, not to like risk damaging, coming back home, carrying it home and back. I tend to leave the book there. This might get that same treatment. So I read the Warhammer collections when I've got my main book at work. But yeah, this next one, Krieg. And I know I keep saying it, I will do some Warhammer rids at some point. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that. And now the 2 Demon Headmaster books are done, it's on to the next ones. Like, as I've said in these vids, I do a sort of pattern of 3. It was always Star Wars the last few years, but since I completed the EU, minus the Young Jedi Knights books, now I'm completing the set to read again. It's basically just going Warhammer, James Patterson, which will then be Stephen King, and then a book 3, which is Demon Headmaster, and with a gap in there, The Witcher. You know, I read the prequels and short story books, so it's now the core 5, which is next. So basically it goes well, it went Britney Spears, but then it went Britney, Demon Headmaster 6, 7, 8, and then The Witcher. And then it's going to go Demon Headmaster 1, 2, 3, The Witcher, and then 4, 5, and 6, The Witcher. So yeah, that's my current pattern. So this is my next Warhammer book, and I will get something Warhammer-y up soon. Starting in this one next, because the 3rd one in this series, well, 3rd Death Corps novels come out. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and it won't be long, hopefully, till I get my review, read it, and then get my review for book 1, but that's a while off. I basically got this, I, Alex Cross, The Witcher 1, and then the second one, Siege of Rax, Crossfire, and then Demon Headmaster. Just Demon Headmaster, the blue one. So yeah, I enjoyed the vid and enjoyed my usual ramblings, and I'll see you next time.